Hey, what up, guys? It's Jay here. And, welcome back to another reaction video. We gotta thank Death Battle and welcome Death Battle back to the channel. So go ahead, give it up for them in the comments. They've been doing this power scaling shit on YouTube way, way longer than me. You know what I'm saying? And they still seem to fucking suck at it. All right, so they brought me out of retirement with this video. Let's jump right into it.
Is sponsored by Mint
Oh
Mobile
fuck no.
and
Fuck
BetterHelp.
no. I love you, Ryan Reynolds. Oh, perfect. Shorthand. All right. Barely saw it. Is it about
Deku, My Hero Academia's super student straight out of UA High. Asta, the anti-magical ass kicker from Black Clover. Though you may be born bereft of the same gifts as your peers, there is nothing stopping you from achieving your dreams. As long as you're a fictional character in a fantasy world. As long as you've got your friends by your side, you'll pack a hell of a punch. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. Izuku Midoriya wanted only one thing from life.
Alright, y'all know
to
how
be
Death
a
Battle
beacon
works. About 25 minutes of lore, and story time, and about 2
of
seconds
hope,
of power
just
scaling.
like his idol, the #1 ranked superhero in Japan, All Might. Too bad he was born a freak with no powers. You heard right. This is like a reverse X-Men thing where 80% of the population gets red superpowers, or quirks as they're called, while the remaining fifth are stuck as basic bitches, or as his spiky-haired bully Bakugo called him, Deku. That's a pun on the Japanese word dekunobu, meaning good for nothing. Persevering despite his basic bitchedness, Midoriya got the chance to prove his quirkless heroic mettle against this giant sludge monster, much to the surprise of one particular...
Alright, bro, listen, can somebody explain the fucking mindset of Izuku Midoriya to me real quick? Alright, bro, wanted to be the #1 hero since birth, seemingly, right? Was quirkless, didn't do no fucking training, didn't hit the gym, didn't do none of that shit. Alright, he said, I'm gonna get through it with brain alone. Right? Started studying heroes. Why study the heroes and not the villains? This nigga was finna take out every hero until he was the only one left. There can only be one, the #1 hero. And that's exactly how I would have wrote My Hero Academia. Called that shit My Evil Hero Academia. Anyway.
Almighty onlooker. His body secretly decaying from a horrific injury, All Might needed to find the one who would inherit his all-powerful quirk. And All Might didn't want just anybody. The hero world was filled with glory seekers in it for fame and money. All Might wanted someone whose body moved on its own to save someone. He saw exactly that in young Midoriya, and gave him one of the most powerful quirks in the world. One for all.
Just check it out.
That was the problem.
Check it out. Imagine if this nigga had hit the gym before All Might picked him up off the street and threw his ass a court. You feel me? Imagine that, bro. This nigga would have been Goku. Like, we wouldn't even had a plot. You feel me? Shigaraki would have been dead. Because he would have got the power and immediately caught this nigga UA lacking, hit him with, blew his body to bits. You know what I'm saying? Muscular would have got one tapped. We wouldn't have to do all these training arcs. Like, imagine if, like, just change Asta and Deku's situation, right? If we put Deku in Black Clover, no magic, just like Asta, he gets the swords and shit, but his mentality was the same as it was in My Hero Academia. This nigga's not succeeding in life. He wouldn't even be able to lift Asta's sword. Alright? We put Asta in My Hero Academia, the nigga's Goku. Alright? He's gonna get All Might's quirk, already be buff as shit, because he's been working out, hitting the gym. Right? And then he's already gonna be #1 hero and achieve his goal by chapter 1. So let's go ahead.
Even after bulking up from lad to
right there, we got Asta mentality greater than Deku. If they got Deku winning. Shit.
The recoil from even one punch would shatter all the bones in his arm, so he trained to be able to handle his gift at the superhero school of his dreams, UA High. And that's when he decided to own the name used as a cudgel against him for so many years. Turns out, Deku can also be an abbreviation for Dekiru, someone who can do anything. Exactly the opposite of Dekunobu. One for All allows Deku to release absolutely absurd amounts of strength from different parts of his body with super...
Let's read the little card. One for All. Since they're obviously not giving descriptions here, I'll just give a little small one. One for All is obviously his main stockpile quirk, the one he inherited from All Might. Fajin, I think that's when he like builds up kinetic energy. Danger sense, it's very similar to Asta's like key sensing, right? Or like a Spider-Man Spidey sense. Yep, danger sense, literally in the shit. Black whip, uh, he shoots black skeet from his hands. I don't know. I don't know what the black stuff is specifically, but he shoots like black whips. They'll probably explain it later. I think it's like energy or like no, that's stupid. I don't know what it is. Smoke screen, exactly what it sounds like. Float, exactly what it fucking sounds like. Gear shift. I think that has something to do with speed. I can't really remember. Fuck, what is gear shift? That sounds familiar. I think that's something to do with speed. Um, don't remember the exact mechanics of it. Hopefully they break this shit down because this is why I don't like these little fucking notes they put on the side. It has no description.
Moves named after U.S. cities and states.
Deku still can't access all of his power safely though. Using 100% will quickly destroy his body, which is why he learned to distribute his strength evenly across his body, a technique known as full cowling. This lets him increase his speed and durability as well, making him more all-rounded, and shifting focus to his own interpretation of One for All inspired by his pal Ida, shoot style.
Where he pulls out a Glock and blows your brains out. Okay, not really, but in
Look, in my evil Hero Academia, that's exactly what shoot style would have been. You know what I'm saying? I'm trademarking that. Y'all can't see me, but I'm signing a trademark thing with my hand. All right. So if anybody makes my evil Hero Academia, I get a
keeping with One for All's rabbit theme, he trades All Might's signature punches for kicks. My version's
3
better.
seasons. That's how long it took this nigga to learn he had legs. 3 seasons to throw a kick.
You ever seen Rabbit versus Gun? I have, and I know how it plays out.
Considering the much higher muscle mass of a human's legs, shoot style allowed Deku to output even more power while giving his arms a break. A break from a break.
And despite being a classic melee build, Deku can fight at range
3 seasons!
by punching powerful gusts of air and even precisely aim them with specially designed gloves.
Deku has an encyclopedic knowledge of quirks and is always analyzing their strengths and weaknesses mid-battle, even if he does sound a little weird.
Despite only barely getting accepted in the first place, Deku quickly became one of Class 1A's most dependable fighters. Because, yeah, somehow these students are constantly getting drafted into literal wars against murderous supervillains.
Midoriya's successes in battle against ruthless criminals like Stain, Muscular, and Overhaul came much to his old bully's chagrin. Where Bakugo was a child prodigy, he now found himself overshadowed by his hard-working rival. And the
Bro wanted to be the number one evil, number one hero, but let evil persist in his own fucking classroom. Hell no. Hell no. I would have hit the gym, came back, caught Bakugo bitch ass lacking. Alright? Beat him out. Alright.
the two would use their mutual respect and animosity to motivate each other to get stronger.
Classic frenemies. They're only solving their problems by pounding the living tar out of each other.
Luckily for him, Deku soon learned that living tar pounding wasn't the only thing he could do. Turns out, One for All did not originate with All Might. It had been passed down 8 times until it arrived at Deku, with each inheritance also
Fuck me, how long have we been going over narrative and arsenal, my nigga? Goddamn.
carrying the previous user's natural quirk as well.
Like Black Whip, which lets him manifest crazy long and strong energy tendrils to tie enemies up and swing around the city, or shoot one out of his mouth, just like our girl Fruppy.
And Danger Sense, which gives him a minor reactive precognition.
AKA, he's Spider-Man. Not even
Oh,
to reach,
there we
the
go,
mangaka is like the biggest Spidey fan ever.
He can also
that
produce
shit.
a smoke screen to mask his presence, float in midair, or store up kinetic energy over time with Fajin.
Like that. By storing up enough,
and
he
it
can even
was
match
energy. Yeah, the black whips are made of fucking energy. Wow.
All Might's max power without any recoil to boot. Strong enough to change the weather and create city block-sized tornadoes with a single punch.
And he's even stronger with his newest quirk, Gear Shift, which allows him to increase the speed of an object anytime he touches it.
God damn.
In conjunction with the power of All for One, he can use this to
I knew
warp
it has something to do with speed, though.
reality itself. Deku can go toe-to-toe. Or of
What?
All for One, he can use this to warp reality itself.
but what are the panels
In
saying?
conjunction with
Can
the power
warp
of
the
All for
very
One, he can
laws.
use this to warp
Governing reality. Who is this nigga Deku? I don't even remember this. When did he do this? We talked about this before, though, briefly in another reaction video I did on how reality manipulation accounts for anything and fucking everything on every scale. All right. uh, this is literally in the description. When you look up reality warping on any power scaling or whatever wiki, they straight up tell you that the shit is very vague in its like denotation of power. All right. Talked about this before. Uh, it can be like the most godlike version of reality warp you could possibly even fucking comprehend, down to like manipulating like minor aspects of reality or some shit. You feel me? We talked about, if you want a more detailed breakdown of this, Idea Shock used a similar argument to Death Battle to the one Death Battle is probably going to use here if they're saying Deku has reality manipulation, right? Because why mention it if it's not on some godly scale, right? Um, but yeah, because then anything could be fucking reality manipulation. But if you want a more detailed breakdown of what I'm trying to say, I definitely suggest go watching my reaction to Idea Shock's Luffy versus Naruto. Definitely one of the most popular videos on this channel. Always got to get a shameless plug in there
Warp
somewhere.
reality itself. Deku can go toe-to-toe with arch-villains like Shigaraki, who's fast enough to react to and catch laser beams with his bare hands.
But
That's some
nothing could
impressive shit.
prepare him for All Might's
Deku
archenemy.
has stated that he is physically on par with All Might, true, and would scale to any feat or the previous One for All users.
The
Whatever.
shadowy leader of the League.
My question is this like prime fucking All Might, or was he saying he's on par with like a sick All Might, like prior to him fighting All for One
The
again?
villains, all for one.
All Might only ever showed his young pupil kindness and support, but that couldn't
I guess
change
we're
the
meant to
absolutely
assume
crushing
All Might,
pressure Deku felt at every moment.
Even classically trained dickhead Bakugo came to help his teammate out when he needed it. Like when they teamed up to share One for All and punch an island-sized hole in the clouds 24 miles high.
Just goes to show that
I count this one as well. This was a while ago though. I believe my estimations were like mountain through island level, not city level. Um, but yeah, it was a pretty impressive feat. I was like, damn. Let me actually just find the calc real quick, and I'll throw it up on the screen. So I was actually wrong as shit. I actually did get mountain and city levels of energy. Wow. Fuck. One of these is only like a couple of kilotons, like 753 kilotons of TNT. Wow. It seems the highest I got this was 2.1 times 10 to the 18 joules of energy. And I'll throw all these calcs up on the screen. I did a total of like 3. Um, but yeah, it seems the highest value I got for it was mountain level. If anybody wants to like review the pixel scaling and like the argument I made for it, y'all can do that. I'll like make the pictures pretty big so y'all can see the calcs and shit like that. But we'll see what Death Battle gets for
even
it.
One for All isn't a one-man
Death
army.
Battle has never been one to wank anyone, I imagine. You feel me? So I imagine they're gonna get somewhere right around there.
Deku's true strength comes from his teamwork between himself and his friends.
And with their help, Deku will surely become that beacon of hope he dreamt about as a child.
One hero for all mankind. This episode is sponsored by Mint Mobile.
This holiday season, the best
Oh my
deal in wireless
God.
can only be
Death Battle is getting a bag off this shit. I'm sorry, Ryan Reynolds. You know, Deathpool is my shit. My guy, I gotta skip your Mint Mobile ad. You know what I'm saying, bro? Much love to you, though. Alright. Enough about Ryan Reynolds.
magic! You know it!
Speaking of which, that was about 6 minutes of My Hero Academia lore and narrative breakdown in about 2 seconds.
You love it! And in the world of Black Clover, it doesn't come from a
Expect
box you bought at a
something similar
tacky
from
West
Black
Hollywood costume shop. Everyone's got it.
Mana is the source of all magic, a supernatural energy found in the air and in living beings. Except living beings whose names are...
Well, kinda. You know what I'm saying? It's also found in inorganic matter, like the land. In certain areas, like Grand Magic Zones has a fucking mana imbued within it, even though it's inorganic. It's not life. Even though the air isn't alive itself, it also has mana, so...
Asta.
Not only was the young Asta an orphan abandoned by his mother at a church as a baby, he was born with a mutation that prevents him from having any mana to speak of. Well, neither...
fucking one. No. 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 Oh my god.
Why, and you don't hear me crying about it.
Yes, you do, all of the time. But Asta...
Let's read the rest of this, bro. Born without magic affinity. Child of magic absorbing Lasita. Shit, she absorbed more than just your magic. Your life, nigga, suck your soul out. A member of the Black Bulls and Royal Knights. Aspires to be Wizard King. Catphrase.
had a dream. Despite his lack of magic, he and his best friend Yuno promised each other one of them would rise to the throne of the greatest military position in the land, the Wizard King. Wizard King? Really, guys? Sometimes they call it Magic Emperor, but we all know what they mean.
So, he did it.
Bro, why didn't y'all mention Deku wants to be the #1 hero? I mean, that shit is also just as cliche. They both trying to be the greatest in their field. That's basic shonen archetypes. That's the whole Kage. That's the Pirate King, nigga. Are you serious? Are we seriously doing this right now? I can go on with it. It's all just boils down to these niggas wanting to be the strongest. Shonen, what do you expect? It's all cliche. I mean, Asta's more cliche, but like still.
Dedicated himself to getting swole as all hell in a world of nerds. He would be its lone jock god, shoving every last wizard into a locker until they crowned him king.
But huge, frightening pectorals on a tiny, screaming goblin child weren't enough on its own. He needed something powerful enough to shut down his opponent's magic.
He needed the 5-leaf clover grimoire.
Essentially a book of spells, a grimoire will choose its user and
I'm gonna let them pass because they said essentially a book
beside their wielder at all times.
And Asta was lucky enough to receive the Uno reverse card of grimoires. The 5-leaf clover can harness the power of anti-magic, which will literally nullify the effects of other magic spells. Almost like wizard kryptonite. Let the locker stuffing commence! Haha, get nerds!
It wasn't long before Asta was accepted into one of the 9 squads of Clover Kingdom's Magic Knights, the Black Bulls, filled with lazy drunkards, antisocial otakus, and literal sociopaths.
My kind of people! Mostly. But much like with Asta, you
Man,
should
he better be talking about Ghost when he said mostly, man. Because that nigga is different, bro. Ghost is the pedophile, right? I don't really know they names like
judge a grimoire by its cover. And soon they were all working together and kicking ass like a family should.
Asta harnesses the power of anti-magic by summoning swords imbued with it from the grimoire. Normally, these swords would quickly drain the mana from anyone foolish enough to wield them, but Asta does not have any mana, turning his greatest weakness into a one-of-a-kind strength.
He's got his classic Demon Slayer, an enormous greatsword which cuts through spells with its edge and deflects them with its flat. Or the Demon Dweller, which can also absorb and copy magic, then toss it right back to sender.
Oh shit, let's read some of these. It's just, why am I even reading these? Ain't no goddamn
I think my personal favorite is the more
Black
complex
Asta
Demon
body
Destroyer,
sacrifice.
which severs the relationship between a spell's cause and effect, countering the effects of its magic. This could result in anything from healing a
Cause
village that
out
was inflicted with poison to preventing reincarnation.
Yeah, okay, some of these can get a little heady. I personally prefer keeping it simple, like using anti-magic telekinesis to surf on your sword through the sky.
It's worth noting that these swords are made specifically for countering magical attacks and sources of mana. The swords will act as though blunted when striking non-magical foes, more akin to giant clubs than actual blades. Not entirely inconsistent with real-life greatswords.
But none of that's even close to as cool as his deadliest sword, the Demon Slasher, a katana as black as the pits of hell and twice as badass.
This one actually does cut like a sword, but it's complicated. It lets Asta actually select what he does and does not want to cut, only affecting...
This nigga got a fairy law. I forgot about this one. Demon Slasher is a katana that doesn't cut what it wants to protect. The stupidest shit I've ever heard.
his target while leaving anything else unharmed.
Okay, at this point, isn't that just magic?
Magic
Yes, it's literally fairy law.
the loophole.
And he studied the blade long enough to become a master swordsman to boot. Not in the real-life sense, in the anime sense.
He can spin himself like a tornado to deflect magic spells, thrust forward at top speed like a charging bull, launch a barrage of anti-magic projectiles, and even channel anti-magic into his swords to vastly increase their size.
Well, while he may be no good with mana, he has learned to detect ki. Because, of course,
the life force existing in all things, Asta can detect hidden opponents and even predict their movements ahead of time, as long as he's fast enough to react.
With such crazy powers, Asta was taking on threats like the Eye of the Midnight Sun, the Devil Zagrid, and the Dark Triad. So many nerds, never enough
niggas are, so I don't know what any of those things amount to. You're gonna have to explain.
blockers. Too bad for Asta, though. He had one serious inner demon.
Literally, housed within the five-leaf clover grimoire was Liba, a demon exiled from hell for completely lacking magical powers, and who just so happened to get adopted by Asta's mother.
Until he got possessed by a different demon and killed her. Vowing vengeance on all demonkind, Liba manifested a different demon and killed her. Vowing vengeance on all demonkind, Liba manifested anti-magic from his hatred as a way to kick their asses. Which gave him and Asta a lot of common ground, despite the whole, mom murder.
Bro, they still doing the lore and narrative, bro. God damn it. Get to the scaling
thing.
In fact, the two became true brothers and formed an unstoppable duo. Liba can actually fully merge with Asta for a massive power boost that lasts up to 5 minutes, at the cost of leaving Asta nearly powerless for the next half hour.
Come on, I want it. Yeah, I'll take it if I get to be strong enough to slice buildings to pieces, obliterate huge chunks of earth, and tear the most powerful demons apart. Give me the goddamn book.
I'm the book boy, okay? Even characters earlier in the series like Patoli had magic capable of completely vaporizing the entire Clover Kingdom in a single attack. And demons that Asta has fought since then like Dante and Lucifero are leagues stronger.
Hell, screw all these demon forms and anti-magic powers. Asta's body is so incredibly well trained, he does
beat Libe with only one arm, sliced the ultimate demon in half, destroyed a large landmass gathered by Dante, routinely dodges beams of light, released his allies from elf possession, survived being impaled multiple times, defeated Vermilion, Langris, Zagred, and a nigga named Lucifer.
Dodged a beam of light while sleeping, as in, he was asleep, and the force of his sneeze pushed his head out of the way of a beam of light.
God damn it. Are they seriously doing this, bro? Is this what they're using as their light speed feats? If this is what they're using, then Asta should be God. This nigga should be thousands of times faster than light in this goddamn video. And it shouldn't even be a comparison. Why is this a video if you have Asta sleeping, and then sneezing, and then the force of his sneeze propelling his body at light speed for a couple of inches or meters or whatever the fuck? Why is this even a thing?
Light.
I'm saying they shouldn't be using this, by the way. This is clearly just tomfoolery and fucking around. You feel me? Like, there's tons of other feats of characters actually dodging light.
Speed sneezes, everyone.
And despite his headstrong and irritating personality,
AKA scream.
Despite being magical, light spells in Black Clover are as fast as natural light, as stated numerous times, I'm glad to see Death Battle has evolved with their, at least their light speed scaling. They can be reflected by mirrors, travel in straight lines, and have been stated to move at light speed. Perfect.
Screaming at the top of his lungs as often as possible.
Asta is an intelligent fighter who has leveraged his skill against far more experienced foes.
But he wouldn't be anywhere without the ragtag band of deviants he calls friends. With them at his side, there's no way he won't climb the ranks to take the Wizard King's throne, especially with Yuno pushing them both to get stronger.
Unlike other classic shonen rivalries, this one isn't tainted by antagonism. They truly want what's best for each other, even if they're competing for the same throne.
Yuno's gonna need all the luck he can get, cause even if Asta never gets mana of his own, his true magic is never given up.
At Acellus Academy, school begins on your clock.
God.
Acellus allows you to study anytime, anywhere. Well, maybe not anywhere, and right where you left off.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Never mind. Fuck Death Battle and they ads. Alright.
It's time for a death battle!
Give it up for our 26th World Martial
Sword that big? He's gotta be crazy strong. I'm gonna have to rely on more than just my power to take him down.
So who's gonna win this?
Just gotta hit him really hard.
According to Death Battle, I don't know. Asta should Everybody was
Man, this guy can give even Luck a run for his money.
I'm be honest, I don't like the fact that Asta just got hit, right? And y'all just said while this man was asleep, he was dodging light. So y'all telling me Deku is no, even if he is faster than light slightly, which I can agree with. I can agree with Deku being faster than light. If we use Shigaraki, catching lasers and shit, and him being like on par with Prime All Might, I can see him being faster than light, sure, right? I've seen casually relativistic feats for All Might, like where he dodges Bakugo's fucking nitroglycerin explosions, point blank range, at like what 10% of his power. So yeah, I could definitely see Deku being faster than light. But didn't Asta just dodge light while asleep? I mean, he's fully conscious here, combat aware, sensing key, and bro getting hit. Nah, something ain't making sense. And if he doing this shit while asleep at the beginning of the series, he's thousands of times faster than light now, according to Death Battle's own logic. I'm not even. I don't know why I'm complaining. Deku was getting cooked pretty bad.
Aren't swords supposed to be sharp?
Shut the hell up.
His speed isn't slowed by his sword's weight at all. Gotta hamper his movement.
You dodged just now, Deku. This nigga was your top speed while asleep.
And get that book out of his hands. Huh? He found me!
Ow.
He found me!
And this is smoke screens.
Now it's my turn!
I like how Asta still doesn't have a wing out or like a demon form out. I think they're trying to imply.
Wait! Are you not using magic? What kind of magic emperor would I be if I can't beat a guy like this?
Asta's swords would have absolutely no effect on Deku's abilities because I believe they're like made by like biological mutations or something.
Detroit! Detroit is.
No, he would have sneezed right here and dude would have died. He would have sneezed. Devil Union, nigga? Who do y'all think that is?
But I've had enough of it. I'm ending this quick!
still terrible for the first few.
Take that, Detroit.
Stick around, folks, for our final round as Asta takes on last year's reigning champion, Mr. Satan!
Unironically, he could probably smoke that.
Nursing students have a saying, the struggle is real. Only another nursing
Poor Deku. He tried his best, but Asta just shoved him into that great big locker in the sky.
Both Deku and Asta were fairly evenly matched melee fighters without any specific abilities to give one an easy edge over the other. Though,
what about
to be
the concept manipulation Asta has probably in the war arcs of the
fair, the variety of quirks Deku inherited from past users of One For All did make him more versatile and unpredictable.
Plus, quirks are biological mutations.
Did make him more versatile and unpredictable. Of quirks Deku inherited from past users of One For All did make
the quirks Deku inherited include flight, energy manipulation with the black tendrils and the Fosone, whatever the fuck it's called, I already forgot. Fa-Gen, I believe. Excuse me. What else? Energy manipulation again with the stockpile ability. What's that shit called? All for One, the original quirk. You know what I'm saying? That's the stockpile ability. So he literally gets energy manipulation. 3 different versions of it, but all still the same, right? And all things Asta has, right? Flight, and I guess reality warp. But yeah, I don't think that makes him more versatile than Asta does, who has like death manipulation, concept manipulation. I'm about to throw up scans from the manga too. This is real life shit. Blah 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 manipulation and this and that.
him more versatile.
Even the ability where he decides who and what he fucking cuts is insane compared to Deku's arsenal, right? Right. Asta has fairy law. Is that not dope? Is fairy law not better than Deku's entire fucking lineup? Could Makarov not come to My Hero Academia, hit one fairy law, and if he hated them all so much they ceased to exist, would they not just cease to exist? That's the question I'm trying to ask. I'm not saying Asta is as strong as Makarov, but I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, very similar ability.
And unpredictable.
Plus, quirks are biological mutations, not connected to some supernatural energy source like mana. So Asta's anti-magic powers were basically useless here.
And Deku was generally a smarter and more tactical fighter, but against Asta,
I don't believe that. It took him 3 seasons to learn how to kick. Asta learned ki in about 1.5 milliseconds. Yeah, that's all it took.
incredible might. This time,
Like a combat genius and like a book smart person are 2 different things. Deku is a book smart person, right? Asta, Goku, Naruto, Ichigo, all combat geniuses. You feel me? Like martial arts geniuses. They like, you feel me? It's
Brawn beat
ridiculous.
brains.
Let's crunch some numbers! Deku's greatest feat of strength was splitting that enormous cloud formation with Bakugo.
By measuring the size of the island and comparing it to
Islands, what? Hold on. I accidentally muted this shit. I was trying to pause it. Let's go back real quick. The island's diameter looks crazy compared to what I had it as.
measuring the size of the
Island's mass.
island and comparing it to
I'm wondering where they're getting this diameter from. 7,584 meters. I think I had it about 2,000 meters smaller.
the clouds above, we can determine they dispersed over
Kinetic energy, 78 teratons of TNT. No, they got them at country level. They have them at country level. They have Deku as a country buster. Off this feat? Not off this feat. I can see Deku being country level. If he, like, you know what I'm saying? Small country level, large island level, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But is 78 teratons small or large? It doesn't matter. It seems too big for this feat. I had this shit at mountain level. Alright? I'm wondering what sort of fucking calc they used. I have to start this over.
By measuring the size of the island and comparing it to the clouds above, we can determine they dispersed
That's exactly what I did, though. That's all I did. That's all I did.
over 63 trillion kilograms.
Oh, I think are they assuming that the entire storm was dispersed, or that a single hole was just blown into it? I have just a single hole blown into the hole, into the storm, and that's why it's like this. Maybe they have the entire storm being dispersed. I don't know.
Grams of water.
But
that's the weight of the Great Pyramid of Giza. 12,000.
Like, look right there. The attack is finished. It's done. Energy dissipated. Sure, the clouds are still moving a little bit, but the epicenter, the damage, what the shit it caused per second of force, whatever, I don't know, is gone. Like, it's just a hole in the clouds. It didn't disperse the whole storm. If it dispersed the whole storm, why the fuck am I still seeing the storm? Clouds. All right.
Of them,
and required an energy of nearly 80 teratons of TNT per punch.
Let's compare that to Asta, but Toli's spell was going to be strong.
Nothing compared to Asta. I don't know why I was tripping, but sadly, it's not how strong I think Deku.
Enough to vaporize a country the size of the Clover Kingdom.
We can use this map from the manga to estimate the size of Clover Kingdom to be about 500 kilometers in diameter, about half the length of Great Britain. Vaporizing a country of that size would require an energy of over 480 teratons of TNT, over 6 times greater than Deku's punch.
Fine.
While Asta uses anti-magic, it isn't an automatic counter.
Like higher. Some places at like a lower, being like a large island level to continental, right? I believe I also made a calc on this. Let me find it. I believe I made multiple calcs on this, honestly, and I was just trying to find like all variables, so really much anything really. Yes, I got the feet to about Jesus. I got it from only country level, right? About 1.3 times 10, or yeah, 1.3 times 10 to the 23 joules of energy, to about 3.03 times 10 to the 24 joules of energy, all the way up to 3.6 times 10 to the 26 joules of energy, which is continental. So, yeah.
It needs to be comparable in strength to the spell it's combating. And Asta's gotten way stronger since.
Asta was also quicker. Sure, scaling to Shigaraki would give Deku
much faster if the nigga was sneezing in his sleep and dodging beams of light.
Light speed reaction time.
Yeah, but if he's light speed and Asta is sleeping in light speed, then when he wakes up, like when you go to sleep, your fucking body paralyzes you. Asta while paralyzed. Your brain paralyzes your body, excuse me. So Asta, while partially paralyzed, is light speed, is what they're saying here. And they're saying while fully conscious, he wouldn't be any faster, right? So I'm confused why Deku even touched him once in that video, if this is their logic.
Asta could dodge light in his sleep, and that's his base form, even before transforming with Lipa to get way faster.
And since Deku and Asta's precognitive abilities more or less matched each other, it was only a matter of time before Asta simply overwhelmed him.
Especially since Deku has struggled in the past against faster opponents. Sure, Deku was smarter, but if he literally didn't have enough...
Asta also scales above Salamander, who, according to the Black Clover data book, is capable of vaporizing an ocean with a single swing of his claw, a feat count at 11.5 petatons of TNT. Petatons of TNT. This would be actual exponents higher in power than Deku. This is like literally continental. It's literally continental. I think 11 petatons is literally continental. So what the fuck are they even doing here? You should have hit this man once.
Time to come up with a plan of attack before getting hammered. His brains were wasted.
Deku's tactical brilliance and harem-scarum tenacity definitely gave his opponent a run.
The Devil Union. Asta fought Salamander before he had his fucking base demon form, right? We'll call it Black Asta, right? Before he even had that, he fought Salamander, right? Was comparable to that shit, right? And then he gets Devil Union. Multiple other amps in power. A completed version of Devil Union. They didn't even use the full version of Devil Union, thank God. Or this would have been even more ridiculous, right? They just used like the one he could only use for 5 minutes when he first assaulted the Spade Kingdom. which is good, because if they use, max full power Asta, this shit really wouldn't have made sense. If they're saying Asta in his base should be at 11.5 petatons, logically.
For his money, but Asta's raw power, blinding speed, and deadlier weaponry spelled the end for All Might's pupil.
Deku gave it
Nigga, faster, stronger, more versatile. That's all y'all just said. I don't even know why.
his all, and I wish he had won. Hasta la vista.
The winner is Asta. Hey, if you want more Death Metal
I'm
Ace...
not gonna stretch the ending like that either. You already know. If y'all want me to react to Sauron versus the Lich King, yes, I do watch Lord of the Rings and read the books and Power Scale and shit. I don't play World of Warcraft, but I'll do that shit anyway. Go ahead and request it below. If you want to make a request for a video, I accept them through Cash App. Jeremiah, Jeremi 22 again 1 on Cash App. Had to think about it for a second. It'll be in the description below. I literally charge like $2. 10 if you want a longer video. That's literally it. I'll leave my prices in the description below. My next video is actually a sponsored video. Shout out to the homie JoJo, who asked for more fairy tale content and sent the big $20. So that'll probably be a longer video like this one as well. Should be out either later today or tomorrow. Much love to you guys. Glad to be back. And we'll see you in the next one.